Last week was a massive week in the title race in Scotland and a huge week for Celtic as well. The boys hosted the Rangers on Wednesday night under the floodlights at Paradise, and the atmosphere was unbelievable. The scene of You'll Never Walk Alone as the spotlight shone down on the Celtic players doing the huddle, whilst the Rangers' end was plunged into darkness, will live long in the memory and really seemed to intimidate our opponents, as well as inspiring Postecoglou's team. Despite having a number of players out through injury and suspension, it didn't take long for Celtic to get into the lead, as Reo Hatate scored inside 5 minutes, with a great finish after the ball was headed out to him at the edge of the box. The Japanese midfielder scored with a great right-footed volley, and then he grabbed himself a second of the evening when he scored a delightful curling shot which left McGregor reeling in the net to face the wrath of the Celtic ball boys. We thought that was as good as it would get before the break, but 2 minutes later Leo Abada made sure of things with a third as he ran in, leaving Barisic sat on the turf and scored with the outside of his right foot. This 3-0 scoreline at half-time basically ensured that the second half could allow Celtic to sit back and cruise through to a victory and sail to the top of the league. It's quite brilliant that Celtic entered the new year 6 points behind the Rangers, and then at full time on Wednesday night found themselves a point ahead, especially given the number of players that had missed out over the last several months. There had been some new songs that have been written and come to the fore over the last few weeks, one of which was the Jota song, which was played with the disco lights before the match. Another great scene both to look at and to listen to. While another of the songs that had been written is for Josip Juranovic to the tune of Fireball, which got a great airing at Motherwell. On the pitch, Callum McGregor called for calm at full time after beating the Rangers. He was assisted by Joe Hart, and Postecoglou was keen to stress that being top in February doesn't count for anything, so there was no chance of any premature title celebrations like we've seen from the other side of the city at times in the past. Indeed, the weekend's match at Fir Park was always likely to be tricky if Celtic weren't at their best. But then again, Celtic were at their best. An early goal from Abada put the hoops in front. Then Tom Rogic, who returned to the side in place of Matt O'Reilly, scored a great brace to make sure that again Celtic were 3-0 ahead at half-time. Anthony Ralston put through a lovely ball in the build-up to Rogic's second of the match and Celtic's third, and he did a good job coming in for Juranovic, allowing the Croatian right back to rest after his incredible performance in midweek. The scoreline meant that Ange could rotate things again at the break, and he took the opportunity to bring Abada off and also Reo Hatate. The replacements done well, and then we saw Jota come on as well later in the half, and he had been rested with Daisen Maeda returning to the team after his international break with Japan. Maeda did okay out on the wing. He worked hard, but he looks much more at home in the same way that Kyogo does when he plays through the middle, and he got his reward eventually with a fortuitous goal in the second half to make sure that the scoreline finished 4-0 to Celtic, although if players had taken their chances it could easily have been 7 or 8 without any exaggeration. So it was a great week for Celtic, scoring 7 goals, conceding none, remaining top of the league by a point and playing some incredible football now. It's been a great week for supporters in the stands, new songs, incredible atmospheres, and it's just a joy to watch the team at the moment. The Hoops now face Aberdeen away on Wednesday night, whilst the Rangers are at home to Hibernian. So two tricky fixtures for each of us really, and we look ahead, hopefully getting past Aberdeen without any problems, and then we return to Scottish Cup action on this Sunday where we host Race Rovers.